Jimmy Garoppolo suffered an injury in the game against the Miami Dolphins. The 31-year-old broke his foot, and everyone thought he was done for the season. He also suffered a knock in the game against New Orleans 1 week before this, and had some soreness in his left knee. In this video, we'll talk about his injury, when he can return, and much more. Stay with us till the end. Let's start. First up, Jimmy Garoppolo could be back after 7 to 8 weeks. Some relief for the 49ers and their fans. Garoppolo won't require surgery on his foot and can return to full fitness after 7 to 8 weeks. His injury's still an alarming situation, though. He's been suffering minor injuries since his move from the New England Patriots in 2017. He has a history of injuries. Like in 2018, he was out most of the time and played only 3 games in the season after tearing an ACL in his left knee. Also, in 2020, he was suffering from ankle problems and could only appear in 6 games that year. Plus, he missed the training camp after undergoing shoulder surgery at the start of this season. These injuries just start to add up, and then you suffer a big injury that's almost career-threatening. The 49ers really need to take care of him, and Garoppolo has to be a bit careful. Up next, Garoppolo had a chance to shine this season. Garoppolo had his chance to shine this season after Trey Lance suffered an ankle injury in week 2 of the season. He was originally supposed to be Trey Lance's backup this year, and he wouldn't have received many chances to play this season. But things happened in his favor after Lance's injury and ended quickly for him as well. Garoppolo could have shined in the spotlight and displayed his talents to the world, but it wasn't meant to happen. He was also doing good this season. He completed 67.2% of his passes for 2,437 yards, which isn't bad, and had 16 touchdowns against 4 interceptions in a total of 11 games, which isn't half bad as well. Let's see how the 49ers will line up after losing Lance and Garoppolo. They had high hopes for Garoppolo this season, and he was doing pretty well too. If his rehab goes nicely, then he can make a comeback in the playoffs for the 49ers, which will be sensational for them. Coming up, Brock Purdy is set to replace the injured Garoppolo. The 49ers have chosen the rookie Brock Purdy to replace Garoppolo until he returns. He'll become the starter in Garoppolo's absence, and we think he can prove to be good. Brock Purdy has shown that he can be impressive out there, and if he just stays focused and listens to what the coach says, he can contribute well to this team. The 49ers were among the top contenders this season for the NFC, and they were also receiving shouts to win the Super Bowl. We think that Purdy will be given the same role as Garoppolo, whose job was to just somehow pass the ball into the hands of the players like Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel and let them do their magic. We saw something similar against the Dolphins, and Purdy was a part of their rushing attack. Even though he did quite well for the team, the 49ers will obviously want Garoppolo back in the team as soon as possible. You guys tell us, would you prefer a rookie playing for your team or an experienced player? Yes, exactly. The 49ers don't want to rely completely on Purdy because he's just a rookie and is a long way from developing into a great player. Next up, at what point in the playoffs could Garoppolo return? Yes, Garoppolo will return in the playoffs. You've heard that. But at what point in the playoffs is the main question. Another big question is whether the rehab will go as nicely as the 49ers are hoping it will. For Garoppolo to return, his rehab must go perfectly, which is a big doubt because you can suffer setbacks in rehab for injuries like these. But according to his doctors, even if his rehab goes great, he will only be able to return in the latter, deeper part of the playoffs. So his return at the start of the playoffs is out of the question. Now the question is, how far can a 49ers team led by Brock Purdy go into the playoffs? Because if he's back after 8 weeks, then according to the timeline, the 49ers would be playing in the NFC Championship game. Then who will they choose to start? Garoppolo, who's just back after being out of action for 2 months, or a rookie like Purdy, who helped them win 2 playoffs? That's exactly why they're in the NFC Championship game. There are just so many questions, and only time will tell what happens. We'll just have to wait and find out. Now, moving on to are the 49ers still contenders without Jimmy Garoppolo? First up, the 49ers still have a shot at making the playoffs. Despite losing important players like Lance and Garoppolo, we think the 49ers can still make it to the playoffs this season. If they continue playing the way they played against the Dolphins in the absence of Brock Purdy, we can say this team is going far. Purdy and company were good, and Kyle Shanahan was also very happy with his team. It was one of the finest wins of Shanahan's career as a head coach, without a doubt. When the Dolphins defense saw Purdy coming into the pitch, they decided to switch to aggressive mode because he's just a rookie. rookie. Despite that, the player showed us he could be calm, composed, and efficient even though he faced a very aggressive defense. He was able to get the ball forward and was mostly accurate in doing that. He completed 25 out of 37 passes for 210 yards, plus 2 touchdowns and an interception as well. Not bad for a rookie, is it? What's more, the 49ers were able to keep a great offense at bay. Against the Dolphins, the 49ers were able to keep a great offense quiet most of the time. Tua Tagovailoa looked really confused and couldn't have a good game against this 49ers team. He was only able to complete 54.5% of all his passes attempted and threw 2 interceptions. Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner made sure that this Miami offense wouldn't do much against them, and they restricted them throughout the game. This just shows how capable this 49ers team is, even after losing their 2 main players. We need to give credit to Shanahan's coaching skills for all this, though. His tactical play and decision-making were key in building a system like this to overcome the threat of the Dolphins. He's one of those coaches who can take the best out of their players at any given moment in the game. If the 49ers do make it to the playoffs and further, a large chunk of credit should be given to Shanahan. Not to mention, the 49ers have playmakers who can help the team get far. This 49ers team has some quality playmakers who can help them get to the playoffs and also take some pressure off the rookie Brock Purdy. The offensive line of this team really helped Purdy in taking his time and picking up his spots, and finding the playmakers. For the time when Garoppolo was fit, the quarterback coach deserves some praise for how good Garoppolo was playing. The credit for his impressive displays and development as a player goes to the coach Brian Grease. Also, the quarterback coach should feel a little relieved after watching the performance of Purdy and his pinpoint placement on throws in the second half. The 49ers defense has shown some great signs this season, and this is all thanks to the defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans. This defense looks like one of the best in the league, and it feels like a proper modern-era defense. This defense can easily carry the 49ers team all the way to the playoffs and even further. The way this whole defensive line is focused, calm, and composed is so good to watch. Ryans has proved that Shanahan's decision to promote him from linebackers coach to defensive coordinator was the right one, and the one that the head coach will never regret. Finally, the 49ers have a great offense as well. Here comes the offense of this 49ers team, which is sensational as well. This offense is capable of threatening any defense in the league on any given day, all thanks to Coach Shanahan. He's worked immensely hard to surround this team with the right coaching staff who can help them maximize their strengths, especially the offense. The win over the Dolphins was just proof of everything that we told you today. It was a result of an amazing environment that Coach Shanahan has established for his players. When a rookie like Purdy steps up in the absence of their first-choice quarterbacks and does well, yeah, you can say that this team can go deep down in the playoffs to the point when Garoppolo can successfully return to the team. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think the 49ers will make it to the playoffs? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.
Coaches work hard, players work hard, but when you bring in good people and everyone's working together and has the same mindset, and I really truly feel like we have a lot of those people.
When you'd be in the room by yourself, you'd hide somewhere, whether it's in a closet or under a blanket or whatever, and jump out and scare them when they come into the room.
And, you know, I haven't really had much time to meet him off the field, but on the field, the dude's, I mean, he's as competitive as it gets, and, you know, it's fun to go against him.